whole new generation. You're dancing through the day. You're grabbing for the magic on the run. You're a whole new generation. You're loving what they do. I put a Pepsi in the motion, but that choice is up to you. Hey, you're the Pepsi generation. Guzzle down and taste the thrill of the day, and feel the Pepsi way. Taste the thrill of the day, and feel the Pepsi way.
Yeah, you ought to know. Act just like you know. Whoa, you just ought to know. Yeah, when you're feeling down and low, and you need a place to go. Oh, just pick up your shoes and go to the hottest place you know. Oh, where you can free your mind and have a good time. Just step right up to the fire line. Act like you know this is your way to shine. Act like you know there's only stars in the fire line. Where the vibes are real, start kicking up your heels. Yeah, you ought to know. Well, the fashion is so if you move in time and you're feeling fine, just step right up.
It's summer 1985, you're driving in Miami. It's summer 1985, you're driving in Miami. Retrowave World on Steam, 291 comment. Once upon a time, in a small suburban kingdom known as Monterey Park, there roamed an aerospace engineer named Modelo. Or at least that's what his business card ambiguously suggested, right beneath a clip art image of a paper airplane. Now, Modelo wasn't any ordinary engineer, oh no. He was also a self-proclaimed superhero whose abilities stretched as far as the imagination. Provided the imagination was limited to folding 8.5 by 11 pieces of computer paper. Modelo's secret lair wasn't draped in the shadows of gloomy caverns or located in a gleaming tower piercing the skyline. No, it was a domestic fortress with a garage where a drum set sat unused, collecting dust and serving as a monument to Modelo's coolness, remaining untouched not because of restraint, but because the mere concept of rhythm was as foreign to him as a quiet neighborhood was to a rock concert. To maintain his sophisticated facade, Modelo flaunted a costume cobbled together from the dreams of a thrift shop mannequin. Butterfly wings that may have once fluttered in a school play, carbon fiber fishnet stockings that made absolutely no aerodynamic sense, and a helmet adorned with a solitary blinking light that seemed to mimic the confusion it inspired. His chin strap connected not to his helmet, but rather to his pull-up diaper, a nod to practicality, because superheroes must always be ready for anything. The pièce de résistance, however, was undeniably his footwear, a pair of platform shoes worn with a defiant rejection of left and right conventions. Though Modelo's jet, another fold-and-fly masterpiece, soaring through the sky was hardly a marvel of engineering, the dips of its wings fostered waves of laughter and incredulity among the mortal groundlings of his suburban realm. They weren't so much cheers as they were collective bouts of fascination at the spectacle of Modelo trying to wade through the unsubstantial cockpit of his paper aircraft. This legend of the skies sustained his existence on a steady diet of culinary minimalism: tiny pancakes, chicken fingers, and apple juice sipped delicately from a sippy cup. Because nothing screams superhero quite like avoiding a dreaded juice spill on your carbon fiber attire. His passion for capturing life's most mundane moments was recorded with what he claimed were the world's best cameras, yet, curiously, those moments were promptly degraded on VHS, a paradoxical preservation strategy akin to chiseling emails into stone tablets. Each time Modelo would blindly toss a paper plane into the open yonder, his eyes would sparkle with the pretense of technical mastery. "You believe me, right?" he would inquire with earnest innocence, as if the very act granted him admission to the pantheon of aerospace legends. In the local hierarchy of strength, Modelo's wife, Judas, a hog farmer with the resounding respiratory anthem of a foghorn, stood as the muscle behind the man. Her very breath was said to disrupt radio waves, and every text she received was a resonant reminder of Mexican cuisine, a feature that, no doubt, contributed to their quirky household dynamics. Alas, jealousy has a way of creeping into even the most serene neighborhoods. Enter Choo Choo, the neighbor with a voracious appetite for envy. As Modelo's paper jet shot across the sky, powered by the sheer force of pretension, the chance of his name fueled Choo Choo's inner fury while he himself longed for the glory of a plastic kiddie ride jet, easily mistaken for a midlife crisis in the making. Modelo's grasp of humor matched his grasp of complex aerodynamics, virtually non-existent. Comedy breezed over his head with such velocity that it practically styled his hair, leaving onlookers in stitches as he scratched his bemused head in a timeless pose of perplexity. Should you be so unfortunate as to lend Modelo currency, he'd offer repayment in the most culturally depreciated forms of media or outdated game accessories of yesteryear, rich only in the lost nostalgia of a simpler time. Through the suburban nights, Modelo could be spotted channeling his inner mischief, spotlighting neighbors' abodes, because what's more amusing than a little unexpected light show to your evening routine? But fear not, even Modelo has a sidekick in this symphony of the suburbs. Dennis the Menace, his brother-in-law whose employment at DCFS, definitely can't freaking science, might very well be a clerical error of cosmic proportions. Together, these architects of amusement left a trail of happiness and mythical unicorn tears wherever their mismatched footwear took them. Indeed, they were the dynamic duo of Monterey Park, where Modelo, in all his topsy-turvy, inverted shoe-wearing, paper-plane-flying glory, reigned not just as an engineer, but as the unsung hero of hilarity, a beacon of befuddlement, unwittingly uniting the neighborhood in waves of good-natured chuckles and puzzled smiles.
In the heart of Monterey Park, bathed in the perpetual glow of mismatched Christmas lights, resided Modelo, a self-proclaimed superhero whose exploits were as colorful and nonsensical as his wardrobe. His aerospace engineering career was a tapestry of paper airplane prototypes and self-shot donkey shows on VHS, while his heroic deeds involved strategically placed spotlights and questionable rescue missions, filmed on his 4K camera, later downgraded to VHS, naturally. Modelo's nights began with a dramatic, suit-up sequence in his garage, complete with a disco ball, a plastic jet engine fashioned from a leaf blower, and a costume that could double as a cautionary fashion exhibit. His helmet, adorned with a single blinking light and a chin strap reminiscent of a toddler's pull-up, sat proudly atop his head, a beacon of, well, something. With a mighty leap, more of a hop, really, onto his trusty steed, a plastic jet purchased from the dollar store, Modelo would soar, or rather, sputter, into the twilight sky. The neighborhood below would erupt in cheers, blissfully unaware that their hero's idea of saving the day often involved projecting embarrassing baby photos onto their houses or subjecting them to looped donkey shows on their security cameras. Meanwhile, in his dimly lit living room, Choo Choo, Modelo's arch-nemesis and neighbor, would be fuming. Every rustle of Modelo's plastic wings, every nonsensical aerospace engineering anecdote sent shivers of envy down his spine. He thinks he's so smart, Choo Choo would mutter, his face contorting like a tomato left out in the sun. I could build a better flying machine out of popsicle sticks and bubble gum. But Modelo, oblivious to his neighbor's envy, was busy conquering the world. one paper airplane and VHS tape at a time. He'd battle pigeons with cunningly placed mirrors and distract squirrels with recordings of his own, slightly off-key, bongo playing. His missions were documented in meticulous detail in his mission log, a nonsensical collection of scribbles and VHS tapes that would make even the most seasoned archivist wince. Back on the ground, refueling with apple juice from a sippy cup and chicken fingers at IHOP, Modelo would regale anyone who would listen with tales of his aerospace escapades. Jokes would whoosh over his head like supersonic jets, leaving him scratching his head in confusion, while his attempts to pay with VHS tapes or a game genie without the code book would elicit bewildered stares from the waitstaff. As the night deepened, Modelo would retire to his room, his dreams filled with visions of butterfly wings, fishnets, and the next opportunity to spread his own brand of justice. And so, the bizarre ballet of Modelo's heroism would continue, a testament to the fact that sometimes, the most entertaining heroes are the ones who are completely oblivious to the absurdity of their own actions. And who knows, maybe somewhere between the paper airplanes, the self-shot donkey shows, and the questionable fashion choices, there existed a kernel of genuine heroism. After all, in a world that often takes itself too seriously, a little bit of harmless chaos can be a refreshing reminder to laugh at ourselves and embrace the weirdness that makes us unique. Just don't ask Modelo about it. He'll probably just look at you with a confused expression and say, "What are you talking about?"
This is the mark of a fighter. A rich, full-flavored lager with a crisp, refreshing taste. A reward for those with a fighting spirit. You've earned for those with a fighting spirit. Reward for those with a fighting
Did you see that?
In a majestic wilderness, her father ruled from the highest perch.
You ever wonder what's out there, Quill?
You mean besides vultures that want to eat us?
Hello, pretty bird. Get away from her! Now,
Let's fly!
to restore nature's balance. She will have to soar.
Oh, come on, people! Is that a cell phone?
In the heart of Monterey Park, bathed in the perpetual glow of mismatched Christmas lights, resided Modelo, a self-proclaimed superhero whose exploits were as colorful and nonsensical as his wardrobe. His aerospace engineering career was a tapestry woven from paper airplane prototypes, self-shot donkey shows on VHS, converted to standard resolution, naturally, and a childlike enthusiasm that could melt even the most cynical soul. Modelo's nights began with a dramatic flourish, his garage transformed into a makeshift Batcave, complete with disco ball and flashing red lights. Clad in his signature attire, a bedsheet cape, butterfly wings, and a helmet that resembled a toddler's with a blinking light, he'd bellow for his trusty steed, a plastic jet engine jury-rigged from a leaf blower. As he soared, or rather, sputtered, into the twilight sky, the neighborhood erupted in cheers, their adulation fueled by Modelo's outlandish antics and genuine enthusiasm. His missions were legendary, each one a testament to his boundless imagination and questionable grasp of reality. He'd battle pigeons with strategically placed VHS tapes of his heroic escapades, project embarrassing childhood photos onto unsuspecting houses, and leave cryptic messages scrawled on napkins signed by his non-existent sidekick, Captain Napkin. His arch-nemesis, Choo Choo, a man perpetually on the verge of a Modelo-induced aneurysm, watched from his living room window, his envy simmering like a pot of chili. Modelo's return was met with fanfare. He'd regale his wife, Judas, a woman with the booming voice of a foghorn and a heart of gold, with tales of his aerospace engineering breakthroughs, usually involving duct tape and cardboard, and his latest invention, a Game Genie Sans codebook. Jokes whooshed over his head like supersonic jets, leaving him scratching his head in confusion, a perpetual state of bewildered innocence that endeared him to the neighborhood children. His days were spent basking in the reflected glory of his self-proclaimed heroism. He'd hold court at the local IHOP, perched on a high chair, regaling patrons with stories of his aerospace escapades, and offering dubious payment in VHS tapes or a Game Genie without instructions. The neighborhood cameras, strategically placed on every corner, and his car, naturally, captured his every move, a testament to his inflated self-importance and the voyeuristic tendencies of Monterey Park. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows on the cul-de-sac, Modelo would retire to his room, his mission log, filled with nonsensical scribbles and VHS tapes of dubious content. The neighborhood, lulled into a sense of security by his nightly patrols, drifted off to sleep, blissfully unaware of the true nature of their hero. Modelo, the man-child in a butterfly cape, might not have saved the world in the conventional sense, but he brought laughter, chaos, and a touch of the absurd to the quiet streets of Monterey Park. And in that, perhaps, lay his own unique brand of heroism, a testament to the power of imagination and the beauty of being blissfully, wonderfully, unapologetically Modelo. Buckle up, folks, because you're about to dive into the bizarre and hilarious world of Monterey Park's very own aerospace engineer and self-proclaimed superhero, Modelo. Imagine a mashup of MacGyver's duct tape obsession, Da Vinci's delusions of grandeur, and a toddler's understanding of flight. That's Modelo in a nutshell. His superhero costume was a sight to behold, a glorious mismatch of butterfly wings, questionable carbon fiber fishnets, more fishnet stockings, really, and a helmet sporting a single, blinking light held together by a chin strap connected, hilariously, to a pull-up diaper. Let's not forget the crowning glory, a henna tattoo of Pac-Man adorning his lower back, just in case his heroics somehow got lost in translation. His flying machine was a marvel of modern, well, let's just say modern-ish, engineering. Think plastic, duct tape, and a whole lot of wishful thinking. His missions were equally unique. We're talking accidental sprinkler activations, self-filmed rescues, later downgraded to VHS because, duh, cutting-edge tech is overrated, and offering his groundbreaking donkey show footage as bribes. Bribes for what remained a mystery. Jokes flew over his head like supersonic jets, leaving him perpetually confused but undeterred. His arch-nemesis, Choo Choo, was the neighborhood's resident cynic, fueled by a potent mix of envy and a desperate desire for the spotlight. He'd watch from his window, green with, well, something other than envy this time, as the entire neighborhood erupted in cheers for Modelo, their diaper-clad hero soaring through the skies, or rather, wobbling a few feet off the ground. My popsicle stick glider could do better. Choo Choo would mutter, but let's be honest, popsicle sticks wouldn't hold a candle to the majesty of Modelo's, flight. Modelo's idea of a good time? Highlighting his neighbors' houses with spotlights, for their own safety, of course. He also enjoyed ordering his chicken fingers and tiny pancakes in a high chair at IHOP, much to the amusement and slight concern of the waitstaff. And let's not forget his favorite pastime, regaling anyone who would listen with his tales of aerospace escapades, always ending with the ever so confident, "You believe me, right?" Spoiler alert, nobody really did, but hey, it made for good entertainment. So, was Modelo a true hero? Well, that depends on your definition of hero. Did he bring chaos and confusion wherever he went? Absolutely. But hey, at least Monterey Park was never boring with him around. He was like a walking sitcom, a human embodiment of that meme with the confused cat looking at the salad. And hey, he did manage to keep the town's pigeon population in check with his state-of-the-art donkey show footage, whatever that means. So, maybe he wasn't all bad. Just interesting. Very, very interesting. In a way that would make even David Lynch raise an eyebrow.
To Jurassic Park. They do move in herds.
Read Aloud is a Chrome and Firefox extension. Read Aloud is a Chrome and Firefox extension that uses text-to-speech technology to convert web page text to audio. Read Aloud is a Chrome and Firefox extension that uses text-to-speech technology. Read Aloud is a Chrome and Firefox extension. The Monterey Park cosmos was misaligned. A celestial goofball had swapped Modelo's ego with a neutron star, warping his reality into a superhero sitcom where he was Captain Cardboard, arch-nemesis of dust bunnies and soggy cereal. Meanwhile, Anthony, a man whose intellect orbited black holes, toiled away in his basement, unaware he was the protagonist of a real-life Greek tragedy, albeit with more spandex and less toga. The battle royal began subtly. Modelo, fueled by expired protein shakes and delusions of grandeur, started patrolling the neighborhood in his Pac-Man tutu, shining spotlights into windows like a celestial disco ball with anger issues. Anthony, meanwhile, was deciphering the Rosetta Stone of city budgets, oblivious to the unfolding farce. Then came the VH Spocalypse. Modelo, convinced his grainy donkey shows were Wall Street gold, tried to pay his IHOP bill with them, prompting the syrup-slinging waitress to call the men in black, or, more accurately, the men in Crocs, given Modelo's preferred footwear. Anthony, drawn by the commotion, witnessed this surreal exchange and knew it was time to step in. He started with the small stuff, debunking Modelo's aerospace exploits with simple physics. The plastic F-16 ride became a metaphor for Modelo's inflated ego, and the Newton nut confusion exposed his grasp of science as tenuous as a wet noodle. Modelo, bewildered, scratched his head like a confused chimp, his "What are you talking about?" becoming a leitmotif of his unraveling. But the real battle was with Judas, Modelo's pig farmer wife. A woman who could blow down houses with her snorts, she wielded the Monterey Park Police Department like puppets, filing bogus reports against Anthony and weaving a web of lies thicker than Modelo's Pac-Man tutu. Anthony, however, was no damsel in distress. Armed with spreadsheets and logic bombs, he exposed their conspiracy, a tangled mess of rodent infestations, leprechaun hallucinations, and embezzled city funds. The climax was epic, a David and Goliath showdown played out on national television. Anthony, calm and collected, presented his irrefutable evidence, each document a brick in the wall of Modelo's house of cards. Modelo, red-faced and sweating, sputtered his usual, "What are you talking about?" defense, but it fell on deaf ears. The nation watched, aghast, as the once mighty Captain Cardboard was reduced to a whimpering puddle in a tutu. The fallout was swift and brutal. Modelo, Judas, and their co-conspirator Medusa, a woman whose hair could turn men to stone, or at least give them a bad case of dandruff, were banished to the outskirts of the internet, forever relegated to meme fodder. Anthony, the reluctant hero, became a symbol of hope, elected to city council in a landslide victory. He cleaned house, his spreadsheets his Excalibur, his data analysis his magic spells. He banished corruption with algorithms, replaced inefficiency with automation, and turned Monterey Park into a Silicon Valley of the suburbs. Meanwhile, Modelo, reduced to his true size, which, let's face it, wasn't much, sulked in his plastic spaceship, forever trapped in a world of his own delusional making. The battle was won, not with spandex and superpowers, but with wit, courage, and a healthy dose of skepticism. Anthony, the unassuming scientist, had proven that even in a world of Modelo-sized egos, truth and logic could prevail. And as he sat on his beach house balcony, watching the sunset on a city he'd saved, he couldn't help but chuckle, a small smile playing on his lips. What a weird world, he thought, shaking his head. But hey, at least I'm not the one wearing the tutu.
Airplanes flying all around the sky. Airplanes, airplanes flying way up high. Some airplanes are as big as a building, some are as small as a car.
That's amazing!
Some airplanes transport people, some fly near to the stars.
That's far!
Some airplanes fly with propellers, some airplanes fly with jet engines. I love to look up and see the To look up and see its wings way down